Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It was a good news day today. Apparently, the Arizona legislature managed to pass. It got enough votes to repeal the controversial 1864 abortion ban. 3 Republicans crossed lines to join Democrats. This now means it goes to the state Senate in Arizona, where it will be debated. A couple of Republicans in the state Senate have already indicated that they would want to repeal the 1864 law. So if they succeed in the Senate, it'll go to the governor, where it will be approved to repeal that law. Carrie Lake, who before the 1864 before the Supreme Court approved the 1864 law to be the law of the land in Arizona, was saying how we had this great law on the books, but we can't use it because the Supreme Court hasn't ruled on it. After the Supreme Court ruled on it, she was saying, we really need to legislate this. This is a bit too extreme. But now she was in Idaho just recently saying that we've got this great law that the governor's not going to enforce, or the attorney general's not going to enforce. Could you flip-flop any more on this? I mean, make up your mind. Do you support this or not? But that's just, she's pulling a Donald Trump in real time. Have sound bites showing you support this this law or you don't support it, and then you can play that sound bite whenever somebody accuses you of saying, "Oh, you don't support women's rights." Oh, here's the sound bite of me saying I think we should repeal it. It's too severe. Now, let's look at the energy. Arizona, what's going on with the Arizona State Senate now that the repeal of this 1864 abortion law is coming to them. Entertainment purposes only. The Magician, okay, manifesting. I would say since 60 or 70% of the Arizonans don't want this law, I think I know what side of the political fence I want to be. Those 3 Republicans. Now, some were saying, it needed an exception for rape or incest or something along those lines. Yeah, whatever, Jethro. Keep dragging your knuckles on the ground. But thanks for the vote. They have to come up with some horrible reason to split hairs on it. How about women should have the right to make their choices and men should stay the heck out of their health decisions? How about that? Oh, but anyways, I digress. Back to the subject at hand. We are now going to the Senate where they can debate this. King of Pentacles. It's going to be an interesting debate. And I say that because what you've got here is a bunch of money. So there are going to be some state senators who are going to be outspoken in their fight to keep this 1864 abortion ban on the books because they want to raise money from the evangelicals. They want money from the anti-women's health rights groups that are out there. And they're gonna toe the party line because, and probably in the districts they're in, being against women's health rights and health care is a boon. But I also think that there's enough Republicans and Democrats who understand the value of what's been dropped in their lap here. This law is so extreme that this should be an easy choice to make. Even if you have to knuckle drag and say, oh, yeah, we want a total abortion ban, but we should also include incest and rape, right? That seems fair, right? In the end of the day, what's underneath it all? It's women's health care. It's women's rights to their bodily autonomy. The Empress is a pregnant woman. That's the crux of it. Why are all these men trying to tell women what to do? I don't get it. Okay, so in the past we got the Knight of Swords. This legislation came out of nowhere. Now, I mean, it's been around for 160 years, but the Supreme Court ruling on it as quickly as they did, all of a sudden, the time is ticking on this law becoming law of the land. But no time was given for the legislature to do something about it, which they are in the process of doing. Current situation is the Four of Swords. It's going to be going up for debate, but I think this thing is going to get through the Senate and it's going to get repealed. This law is going to be put right back where they found it. Basically they performed necromancy to raise this archaic law from the dead, and it's time to put it back in its coffin, and it's time to seal up the crypt, and maybe even go so far as to take this stupid law off the books so you can't go around pulling shenanigans like this again. The overarching lesson on this is the Queen of Pentacles. Again, just like the King of Pentacles, this is a gift dropped in your lap. Here's something that 70% of your citizenry approves. Your choice should be really easy. Men deciding for women, but it's women's health care. To me, again, a mom and a baby, grandma and a grandbaby, pregnant woman here. Stay out of women's bodies, man. Just do it. Lesson to be learned is the Two of Wands. Yeah, the elections are coming up, and in this case, supporting women's rights is the right call. I do believe the abortion issue is going to drive all sorts of voter turnout in Arizona, especially now that you've had this law come out, because you've now scared the living bejesus out of people, and the outcome is the King of Swords. The Supreme Court did the Democratic Party a huge favor by allowing this thing to come through, because this gives the Democrats a mandate for women, and it gives women in Arizona a mandate, because honestly, you've got two choices. You've got candidates who support women's rights, and you got candidates who don't. The ones who support women's rights tend to have a D after their name, and the ones who don't tend to have an R after their name. And by having this vote, you'll know exactly who you should be supporting and who you should be ignoring. So there you go. Will there be any shenanigans that prevent this from being signed by the governor? Will things go smoothly enough that it gets debated, voted on, and abolished before it goes into effect? That's only. I think I only need a 4 card for this one. I'm not expecting any unusual stuff coming out of this. Seven of Coins. No, just looking at the value of debating the value on this. Voting no on this is going to be the outlier. There's too much at stake. This is also kind of reap what you sow type of vibe. He's looking at the bush that he's planted, and here's the fruit that you've got coming off of it. What the decisions you're making now are going to impact what you plant now in April is going to impact what you're going to get at the end of October, beginning of November. You have a decision to make. Going back to the 50s, you choose the century type of thing. And you also have the Attorney General here saying they're not going to enforce it. Yeah, in the end of the day, there's going to be some people who don't want to change, and they're going to vote against it. They might try and pull some dirty tricks to prevent things from moving on, but there's not enough of them. This is the 4 of Coins versus the 7 of Coins. There's just too many people here that are, for the real tight conservatives that don't want this. They want to go back to the 1860s. There's not enough of them to hold this up, to stop this process. It's underneath it all, it's a gift. It's not naivety. It's nostalgia. But to me, it's just it's a gift. Having children is a gift. The way the folks who don't support women's health rights, they act like having children is a punishment. It's like, oh, you went and got pregnant. You have to have that child. Like, your punishment is you have to have that child for daring to get pregnant. I don't understand the mindset. But this, I think things are going to get pushed through here. The state senators need to make their choices if they're going to vote for it or against it. But in the end of the day, this is what the folks in Arizona want. And the folks in Arizona, they vote and put you in the office. So go ahead and vote no if you want. If you're in a nice gerrymandered district, you probably won't have too many problems getting reelected. But if you're in a district, well, I don't know, where there's women, and you're going to say that women don't have rights, and your opponent does, I don't care how gerrymandered your district is, you might lose that district too. I take that back about the gerrymandered part. There's going to be a few more Republicans are going to lose their seats in quite shocking manner. They better know their constituents really, really well. So I got to say. Now, Carrie Lake. What's going on with you? I make Waffle House comments about people flipping as much as this woman does. What's the energy around Kari Lake? Why can't she get her message straight, Can you imagine having her as a governor or a senator? What's your decision on this very important issue today? Because it seems like every week your mind changes. Kari Lake. Three of Coins. It's just backroom strategy. She's just trying to read. She's trying to read the tea leaves in the room, and figuring out, what's the best way. It could also be, where's the money? Backroom deals, money. But I also think it's just her trying to see which way the wind is blowing here. Okay, that makes sense. Guess whose poll numbers aren't going so hot? Somebody's poll numbers aren't doing so well, so they have to figure out who is going to be their core group of voters. Because when they get this information out, she's losing ground to Mr. Gallego. And so she's trying to find a place of leverage, a place of strength in this campaign. And I don't think she's found it yet. Because if she did, she wouldn't be flip-flopping. She would be resolute in her decisions and her points of view. In the past, it's the Eight of Coins. Fundraising, trying to get elected. Also could be that fundraising has gone dark on her. I'd be curious. I'd have to look that up. I'm wondering if fundraising is going dark on her and she's having a hard time getting money. Not the least of which, because of all the election interference stuff that you did and how much money that cost Arizona, you'd be hard-pressed to represent yourself as a fiscally conservative, responsible person when you've been causing the state to hemorrhage cash on worthless audits. And then letting people into the voting machines and thus voiding them and requiring new machines to be purchased. Current situation is the King of Swords. There's a lot of bad news coming out for the Arizona GOP. Wait a minute. Didn't Kari Lake, record somebody in the Arizona GOP? And yeah, she was the one that recorded him, right? Got him to resign because he was trying to get her to drop out and maybe take something with Donald Trump. Oh, she's got no friends. She's got no friends and no allies. Live by the sword, die by the sword type of thing here. She's made her bed, and here's the thing: she's got no allies left. So she's. I think that's what this is also saying is, I have to find allies. My campaign is not doing well; it's struggling. I need to raise money. I've alienated many members of the GOP because I can't be trusted. And now I'm flip-flopping on issues, trying to find where the poll numbers are. Yeah, she's a mess. This woman is an absolute mess. She doesn't know which way is up. She's trying to find which way is up, but the only thing that's up is her at night trying to figure out how to get herself out of this mess. Now, mind you, I have not seen her be indicted as a co-conspirator in anything, but she might be having more financial problems. I think she's being sued. She probably also has some legal problems coming her way too. But she's going to keep fighting on. And here's the thing with the Seven of Wands. You're fighting from a position of advantage. You winning the ties, you got the high ground. But you have to pick and choose your battles, or else you're going to be exhausted. And I think to me, it's like she's running out of steam, which is why her campaign is struggling, because she doesn't know what battles to fight. She was for this abortion ban, and then she was against it. Now she's for it again. You can't defend yourself if you're not 100% committed to defending. And she's flip-flopping. Outcome is the Two of Wands. She's running out of time. The election is coming nearer, and she's no nearer to a plan of how she's going to get elected. She's still looking out there for help, looking for a lifeline. But here's the thing, she's got no allies. She's got no friends. She literally is a female version of Donald Trump. Now, I know we all compare Melania to it, but she tries to be as bombastic as Trump. Says all the outrageous stuff, does all the outrageous things, is just has this toxic masculinity about her. And, any credibility that she might have built up as over time as a news anchor, that's gone. She's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at this point. Now, is she really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Who knows? That, she's trying to find her core voters and really trying to tap into that anger. And it's looking more and more, at least in Arizona, and that ship has sailed. And more to the point, in Arizona, her ship has sailed. There could be other Republicans that would have a chance, which is why the GOP was trying to get her to drop out of the race and go take a job with Trump, and then they could get an electable senator to run against Mr. Gallego. But she wouldn't do it, and not only that, she recorded the conversation and played it as part of like a bribery type thing to get that guy to resign. And she has more recordings. So nobody trusts her. She's a pariah at this point. I think I've talked down about her enough. So end of the day, Arizona 1864 law. It's been repealed by the House. It's going to the state Senate. I see it being repealed by the Senate. There's just not enough people to sidetrack this. It'll go to the governor. It'll get signed off, and this law will be repealed. And then it's up to the voters in November to send a message to the House members and the state senators who voted to take away women's reproductive rights. And the bigger message has to come from those women who normally vote Republican. You need to send a message to your party. And if that means not voting for the Republican, or worse, voting for the Democrat instead of the Republican, you only have to do it this one election. And then give the Republicans time to think about it. Think about what you've done. While the Democrats are running the state and you are not in office, think about what you've done and think about what you're going to campaign on. And 2 years from now, if you decide that you're going to support women's rights, well, then we can talk and you might have my vote back. But if you're going to double down and say, no, we got to really get rid of abortion all across the state, well, you got to keep voting for the Democrats until the Republicans get the message. Got it? Good. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.